Hi, and welcome to our next lesson on common denominators. And a special welcome to the students from Mr. Ason's math class joining us. In this example, we're looking at finding a common denominator when we have three fractions. So here we see we have three different denominators, and we have to find a denominator that they could all have in common. We're going to follow the same method that we did in our earlier videos when we were just finding a common denominator for two fractions. But now, when we look for that least common multiple, we need to find the least common multiple between 3, 2, and 4 in order to find a common denominator. So one way that we can do that is to break it up and just take a look at two numbers to start with, find the least common multiple between those numbers, and then take that result and find the least common multiple between the third number. So to see how that works, for 3 and 2, what would be the least common multiple? Or what number do 3 and 2 both divide into evenly? If you said 6, you are correct. 3 and 2 could both divide into 6. So we could look at this as a common denominator between those two fractions of 6. And we had to multiply this times 2, so we get 4 over 6 for that. We had to multiply this times 3. So when you multiply that numerator times 3, you get 3 over 6 for that one. And this one we still have 3 over 4. So now we're closer, because now at least two of our fractions have a common denominator, and now we have to find the least common multiple between 4 and 6. If you said 12, you are correct. So the common denominator for all three of these fractions will be 12. So that is the least common multiple between 4 and 6. And in this case, we had to multiply times 2 to get 12. So we multiply our numerator times 2 as well. Times 2. So we multiply our numerator times 2. 3 times 2 would give us 6. And 4, we had to multiply times 3 to get 12. So we multiply our numerator times 3, which would give us 9. And then we add or subtract our numerators as we move across. So 8 plus 6 is how much? If you said 14, you are correct. And 14 minus 9 would give us 5. So 14 minus 9 gives us 5 for our numerator, and our common denominator here is 12, so we keep that the same. And we would get 5 over 12 for our answer to this question. Again, I know that it's a little bit more complex when we have three fractions, so try to break it up into steps. Find a common denominator between two of them, and then find a common denominator between that number and your remaining fraction so that you have a common denominator for all three. If you're comfortable doing this all in one step and you're able to see that the least common multiple between 3, 2, and 4 is 12, then you can certainly take that approach. You don't have to go stepwise through this middle step here. But this makes it a little bit easier. So if you're just starting out and getting comfortable finding common denominators, I recommend doing it in steps. If you're a little bit more familiar with it and it's something that you've practiced a lot, then you can try doing it in one step to find a common denominator of 12 for all three fractions. For questions and more information, please feel free to suggest topics you'd like to see covered on our channel in the comments section. Otherwise, you can visit our website at www.sandersontestprep.com. The link is in the description below. Thanks.